Hey there everyone, in this video we will understand what is Spring Boot and we will also create our very first Spring Boot project. So let's get started. What is Spring Boot? Spring Boot is an open source Java based framework maintained by a company called Pivotal. It's basically built on top of the Spring framework. In the next upcoming movies we will also understand what are the differences between Spring framework and Spring Boot. And I've also mentioned the official website of Spring Boot. So before creating the Spring Boot project, we've got some prerequisites. So I'm assuming you all have installed Java 8, which is basically JDK 1.8, and you already have Maven installed in your system, and MVN command should run in your system. And you can basically choose any IDE like IntelliJ, STS or Eclipse. In my case, I'm using IntelliJ. So how can we get started with Spring Boot? First of all, we will create a Spring Boot project using any IDE like IntelliJ in my case, and afterwards in the next movie we will also create a Spring Boot project using the official Spring Boot website. In the later part of this movie we will also add Maven dependencies in the Spring Boot project, and we will also try to understand the main class of Spring Boot. Afterwards we will also run the Spring Boot project. So let's get started. First of all, we will create a Spring Boot project. So for that we can create a new project. We can select Maven and Java version is 8, JDK 1.8. After then we can name a project like demo and we can do finish. So yeah, the Spring Boot project is ready now. Now what I'll be doing here is I'll be telling you the structure of Spring Boot project. So there you can find a pom.xml file. So inside this pom.xml file we will also understand the structure of pom.xml file, but first of all we will create a package here inside Java. The package name would be, let's say, com.example.demo. Inside this package I will be creating a demo application class. Yeah, now what I'll be doing is I'll be adding some dependencies in pom.xml file. So first of all, dependencies are basically some piece of code which is basically present in Spring Boot. Okay, so I'll be adding those dependencies so that we can get started with our Spring Boot project. So first of all I will add dependencies. Inside this dependency I will need only one dependency, which is basically Spring Boot starter web. So to download that I will go to Google and I will type Spring Boot starter web dependency. So inside MVN repository you can find the Spring Boot starter web dependency and you can just copy it. Afterwards just paste it here, and right now we don't need the version, so we will remove it. We will remove the unnecessary code here. Now if we refresh it, like if we reload this pom.xml file, we get a error, right? So the error is cannot resolve Spring Boot starter web dependency. So for that what do we need to do is we need to add one parent, which is basically Spring Boot starter parent. Okay, why I'm adding this I'll tell you. So this Spring Boot starter parent, you can find it here. So yeah, I have added this Spring Boot starter parent. Now the use of this is basically I don't need to further mention the version whenever I add any dependency. Now let's go to this Maven and refresh it, so that if any dependency needs to be downloaded, it will be downloaded. Now we will try to run the Spring Boot project using MVN command, which is basically MVN Spring Boot run. Let's see what happens. So I am getting one error mentioning unable to find a suitable main class. Please add a main class property. So now if you remember, I've created a demo application. Inside this demo application I need to create a main method, which is now public static void main. Inside this I need to run my Spring Boot project. So how can we do that? We can do that using Spring application class. There is a run static run method. Inside this I can pass my demo application dot class, and yeah, this is done now. Now one more thing which I need to do is I need to annotate it with Spring Boot application, because we don't want to add any component scan annotation and all. So I will do one more thing. I will basically surround it with try and catch, so that if any exception comes in future, it will be catched and we will see the exception in our console, and I will print the stack trace. So let's try to run this Spring Boot project once again. Yeah, our Spring Boot project is basically running. So this is one method to run Spring Boot project, and as you can see, the default port in which it's running is 8080. Now there's one more method to run Spring Boot project, which is you can directly hit it from here, run demo application.main, and your Spring Boot application will run. Yeah, it's running now. So in the next movie we will also create a Spring Boot application using official Spring Boot website. So we've created our very first Spring Boot project using IDE, and we've also added Maven dependency, and we've understood the concept of Spring Boot main class, and we have also run our Spring Boot project. So if you face any problems while creating your Spring Boot project, please comment down below. I'll be happy to answer all your queries. Till then, see you again in the next movie.